Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for Beau and Nick, the losers with a dream. What a waste of time. Yep, they're losers. You're listening, so who's the freaking loser, people? Welcome to Beau and Nick's Losers with a Dream. Yeah, I freaking hate them so much. They're lucky they're funny because they suck at everything. You're listening. The question is, why?
Hello and welcome to the Losers with a Dream podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Scopoletti.
That's your name.
Yeah.
And I'm the other host. I'm Beau McDowell.
Beau McDowell.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Beau?
I'm okay. It's been quite a week. And you know,
It has, man.
I finally feel good. It was like a half hour before this podcast. I go, I feel okay for the first time in a week.
I feel fine.
Like I'm actually all right.
I'm a real
I'm
boy.
back to just depression. That's nice.
That's his base level.
Yeah.
We get you to depression, and then from there we'll figure it out. You know,
We have a lot to talk about, but I think we have to start off with our mental health check-in.
as
Per use.
We got to start there, and you guys know, we're cool guys. We don't do a scale 1 to 10 like these other losers.
We're not these boring fucking losers.
Yeah, we're cool losers. So we
That's
do.
right.
So we do. We relate to like a person or a thing, or like a thing in our past. It's very interesting, very on the cutting edge of the podcasting.
If you knew
extraordinaire.
anything about entertainment business or comedy, like Beau McDonald does over here,
Yeah, I stay pretty plugged into like the locals
plugged
are doing.
into his sleep apnea machine, or else he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I'm Darth Vader. So anyway, we do that type of thing, and
How you feeling, you psychopath? You've had a hell of a week.
I have had quite a week. Because this week I feel like Lucille 2 from Arrested Development. I knew you wouldn't get that, and I'm okay with it. I understand.
I thought you were going with Lucille Ball for a minute. And
I
was
understand that if it's not a Sopranos reference or a Goodfellas reference, you're going to look at me like an idiot.
Yeah, because who cares, right?
No, but Lucille 2, anybody who hasn't seen Arrested Development, she is an old woman that is hilarious on the show, and she has a real wicked case of vertigo, and so she's always falling and doing crazy stuff. And yes, I am her because I have had vertigo for the last week.
It's been...
Yeah.
I got to see... Well, I guess we'll talk about it later, but I got to see you full force coming from the hospital.
Oh, my God.
Beau just slamming into the... walking upstairs, just...
I'm too big to have vertigo because that's a lot of insurance I need.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things going down. I'm knocking over a lot of stuff.
Beau keeps on spinning. He's got no future. Anyway.
So yeah, I felt like her, just an old lady trying to knit, fucking falling all over the place. It was a
Falling
nightmare.
all over your knitting circle. They're like, Gail, are you all right?
No, when I realized it was vertigo, I looked up like who gets vertigo, and it was like. It was like always like elderly women.
Like, cures for vertigo, things to help. You're like, who gets vertigo?
I was like, who? Because I was literally like, who? What am I? How is this happening? So I looked it up, and it was like 90% is like elderly women. You know what I mean? Just trying to make a fucking basket, and then there's me, just trying to have a Halo Top ice cream middle of the night,
basket case,
falling down.
But you're feeling better today.
Yeah. So I'm finally on the.
You went to the doctor.
mend.
You told them what to do.
Yeah, I hate doctors. I have a lot of trauma from doctors who like just prescribe me medication. They and then I end up taking a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and then I'm a nightmare, and they diddle me. And no, I'm just kidding.
They're like, we're gonna check your prostate. You're like, I'm 15 though. That's not your finger. Right? We've all been there. Anyways. Yeah.
But what's going on with you?
I'm good, man. My mental health check-in, work is finally, after a year and a half of this hoax of a virus. No, I'm just kidding.
The pandemic.
The pandemic. We all know, okay? Biden won. No, I'm just kidding. It's finally getting real busy at work.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten like 4 new clients this week, and I almost have forgotten how to be busy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm feeling like Gordon Gekko, dude.
Oh, boy.
'Cause I'm just wheeling deals, sealing deals, baby.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. 4 new clients this week. I think I have 2 more I'm going to get next week. I'm on a roll, dude.
Yeah.
Blue Horseshoe loves Endicott Steel, okay? You don't know those terms because I work on Wall
Saw
Street.
the movie, okay?
Okay. You don't know finance terms, okay? I'm wheeling. Now I feel like Ric Flair, though. Wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing from other male members of the staff at the gym. It's good, though. I feel fucking great to be busy again. It
I
just makes me
was
happy.
working in the studio and I had my computer out and you walked in and I go, yeah, this is a company laptop. You'll never see one of these.
And then Beau sat on it and broke
He's
it.
good. Yeah. What do you get? Like
Then he left it at the diner.
Nick gets like a company sweatband or something.
Dude, it's funny. At the gym, there's like these new there's a new Equinox app and there's new like t-shirts out.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, can I get a t-shirt? And they're like,
We don't carry
guess.
medium, so no.
And I was like, I guess. And I was like, what do you mean I guess? Like they're tight with everything there. Like if you want dope, like new, like I just buy my own stuff and bring it in. Like they're for $1 billion company, they are tight. I'll tell you what.
Well, you can't be if you got to stay $1 billion company, you can't be giving them out to sherms like you.
It's true. It's a good point. Know, I feel like you know business, and that's what I like about you.
I'm just one of those guys who gets it. All right,
Dude, let's
so
kiss.
well, that kind of really helps us out into our new topic or our next topic.
It's a topic it's a segment we've done in the past. We're bringing it back.
Well, we could do that one, or we could do Fall in Love With, because that's the next in the order, and you're kind of skipping ahead.
I think you misunderstood our meeting yesterday, but go ahead.
All right.
It's all good. You're in the corporate world. You know what you're doing, dude. Check your corporate laptop.
Well, I want to say who I fell in love with this week.
Fine.
All right. So I did not fall in love with Instagram, okay? Because I was on Instagram and I saw this person like comment. Did you ever like stalk a random person you've never met on Instagram? You just go,
No,
what's
but
this
go
life?
ahead.
Well, I was doing that. I saw this person. I go, what is her life? And then I start going through, and Lisa was talking like last week about how she just randomly is feeling like a lot of empathy for people that they like don't need. You know what I mean? Like this person doesn't need me to feel sad for them, but for whatever reason I'm sitting looking at her Instagram account and I'm crying. So I was looking at her account and like she was completely normal, everything was fine, and then she posted this one photo with like it was a little lewd and she had like her her tits out on the photo. And she got like a bunch of likes, and then I just watched it. Okay, now every single post was about that, and I was looking at it, and she's not like an extremely attractive person. She's also not like an extremely ugly person, but she shouldn't be putting it out like that. It's like totally crazy. And I was looking at it, I was like, oh, she's like addicted to getting this feedback, and I started looking at it, and I started like feeling like really sad for her. And I was just like, oh my God. And whereas normally I would see that and be like, ugh, like, look at this trollop, and then just and then just get her out. But I saw it and I was like, oh man, this is really like you're seeing the progression of somebody like having a hard time with like an addictive pattern. And I started to like really get upset.
When you say like it's an addictive, like are the comments negative or they're all like, or she doesn't care, she just wants
she's just getting feedback, and like she's putting in the captions, she's being like oh, sorry, not sorry, like this is my body, you know what I mean? And then like one of them was like just a photo of her ass and some lingerie, and then she was like she literally said, she was like, I don't care if this makes you uncomfortable, it's me. And I was like, oh boy. But she's getting all these comments now, and a lot of them are like, we love you, girl, like positive. And then you're getting some that are like negative, being like, you have children and what are you doing? And like
creepy guys.
Of course. And I was just like, man, this is like crazy that this exists. That like we're living in this time where people are like putting themselves, like you couldn't even imagine that being a thing 20 years ago, and now it's like every person knows a list of people that are doing this, and you're like, wow, it's crazy she's putting it out there like
it's
that.
like
It made me sad.
I've talked to my dad about this. Like, if they had Twitter in the late '60s when he was in high school, like, because like my dad, he's older. He's always like, you young people and you stupid shit. I go, you had dumb people.
Yeah, yeah.
They just didn't have a Twitter account.
Yeah.
I go, everyone knew like so and so from the neighborhood sucked.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
And he was the worst. She was the worst.
Yeah,
but
and now they didn't have a blog.
Yeah,
but now it's like everybody has a place where they can be like, oh, I'm just gonna let my freak flag fly, and it's like really put it down. Like we don't need to see it.
Yeah, not everybody needs to have a voice.
No,
they just silence some people.
Yes, but I would love to hear about this new segment. As I spoke out of turn.
You sound like a senator. That was good. I spoke out of turn. Let me. Sorry. Yeah, so we did this in the past. We're two meaty gentlemen, meaty men, and we do some meathead shit. We're guys. We do dumb stuff.
Yep, we do.
Almost all the time.
Yeah.
So we're doing our meathead moment of the week. Now, it's funny because I was trying to think of this earlier. I was like, what did I do? Kind of meathead moment. And my good old dad, right on time.
Endless material.
I mean, it was earlier today. I'm in the middle. I have 90 minutes between clients. I have my workout. I'm in the middle of my workout. My dad calls me. I can't even. He calls me. He's like, Nicholas, are you coming to Dutchess today to show me how to use the thing? Maze? And I was like, it's Waze. Close. Real close, Dad. And he's like, you know what I mean. And I was like, yeah, okay. He goes, also, the bottom of my foot is really hurting. Like, can you bring me like a tennis ball or lacrosse ball to roll it out? And I was like, yeah, man, sure. And then he's like, so also, when I'm driving down to the doctor on Friday, I want to take the Merit. And I was like, I got to go. I'm in the middle of my workout, Dad. I have 90 minutes. I'll show you later.
This is me time.
Yeah.
I put it in the note.
He wants to go over the directions that are going to just be in the app that I'm going to show him later. I was like, I'll see you in a little bit, man. And I remember just getting it almost threw me off. Like, I was so upset. I was so mad. I was just like,
I can see the veins in your head. So,
It's because I don't have hair to cover it up. But, oh, my God. I remember just getting so mad. I'm just like, Dad, I'm in the middle of my workout, dude. Leave me alone, okay?
You leave me alone, Dad. Yeah.
And then I got there and finally, showed him what to do. And I just went, it's the easiest shit. I was like, okay, see this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit the button. And now it's there. He's like, okay, I'm just, making sure it's the right thing.
Well, it sounds like you did a nice thing for your father.
I did. He's nuts.
Yeah,
he needs to learn. Dad, it's 2021, man. You got to learn the technology, okay? If you're going to stick around, you got to learn the new stuff.
Nah, listen,
Your
got
son's gender fluid. You got to learn these things.
Well, what if, he just wants to connect with you, Nicholas, and I think that's a positive
That's probably why. Don't fucking AA me right now. Don't even do it.
I have no anonymity at this point. It's completely gone.
Doesn't even make sense. Anyway.
All right. My meathead moment of the week
is great.
Is fantastic. So I went to the hospital with my vertigo.
His mommy took him to the hospital?
Yeah, I called Mom. I go, take me, please. So my mother and father come. They come pick me up. By the way, I'm going to talk about this first. Driving with your parents is a nightmare.
As an adult.
It is a living nightmare.
Yep,
you get in the car, and my dad's driving, and my mom is in the back seat. I'm in the front seat. She's like, slow down! Like, and he's going 15 miles an hour. Like, we're just pulling into the emergency room. She's like, oh, look out! Like, it's mom. You know what I mean? And he's like, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, you can see, like, just how weathered marriage has made him in that moment. And so
I can't deal with this anymore.
Well, by the way, I go into the emergency room and I'm sitting there, and it was such like a ghost of like Christmas future moment where this guy walks in, he's got a cane, he goes up to the desk of the hospital, the emergency room, he slaps his hand on the table, he goes, AFib alcoholism. And then he goes and he sits down. And I was like, oh, boy, what a winner.
So you sat down and you're like, hey, so there's this meeting.
No.
At a church in
No, I
Norwalk.
wasn't trying to recruit. I was like, wow, that is amazing.
I love that
like,
you walked in and just like,
yeah.
here's my issue.
Yeah, here's my credentials.
Oh, it's Rick. And he's like, AFib, alcoholism. Is room 302 available? That's my favorite. It's got a good view of the nurse's ass.
And then I heard him on the phone with some woman who was like, I should come down there. He's like, don't come down here. I don't need you like talking to me all day. And I'm like, wow, that is some good old fashioned alcoholism.
Ghost of Christmas future.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I go in, they check me out. Basically, they're like, we don't know what to do. You're insane.
They're like, they put you to the vet, and they're like, you got to put him down.
Yeah, they did like a CAT. They basically just made sure I wasn't having like a stroke or something, or a tumor or whatever. And then they're like, so you're okay. You should probably relax. And then I saw that we had a show that night, and I was like, well, I'll just go do the show because I'm fine, right? Like, literally just not thinking like, oh yeah, you were just in the hospital and like, you should probably like go lay down, take it easy for the night. I was like, Ma, drop me off at the club. So they drop me off at the club. I have the from
the
like
hospital bracelet,
bracelet on, and like a Band-Aid over my arm from like taking blood. And I walk up the stairs and I see you, and you're like, "Hey, man, you don't look good." And I'm like, "I can like barely walk."
Just like this,
yeah, just
into
bouncing.
The walls. Cody was very concerned. He was like, "Dude, what is he doing?" And I was like, "I mean, he's done worse shit. Let's just." He's done way worse.
Yeah, I got up to the club and I was like, "Yeah, just put me up for 15 whenever."
Were you watching like Patriots pump up videos before? You were watching like Gronkowski in training camp.
I was so
I gotta
out of
go
it.
tell these jokes.
And I was just so out of it. I was like, "Yeah, I tell jokes. That's what I do. So I'm just gonna go do it." And I was also just trying to be a badass. You know what I mean? I was just like, "Oh yeah, oh, this can't mess with me. I'm fine."
There's a big part of me that really wanted you to perform.
Oh yeah.
But then I started to feel bad when you kept wobbling more, and then I was like, okay, maybe how bad I just wanted you to go on stage and just like
fall into
the first table.
Yeah. So what do you do for work? And
We're never coming back here.
The fat guy killed him. So yeah, that was my meathead moment. But like it is what it is. I was definitely not thinking long term in that moment.
No.
But then I saw you and you were able to be like, hey, reality is here, and then you drove me home.
And I took advantage of you.
Yeah, Nick touched me.
Yeah. Bo had no idea. It was good. Got it in. Cosby.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, sorry.
Free at last.
Free at last. Oh man. Well, we're gonna. Listen, man. Sometimes you gotta go with the flow.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be right back after these messages from Lisa.
This episode of Losers with the Dream is brought to you by Vertigo. Hey, that wasn't an earthquake. It was Beau hitting the pavement. He's large.
Hello and welcome back to the Losers with a Dream podcast. We are losers and we have big dreams.
Old dreams.
But even though we have these big dreams, sometimes, man, just like Beau at a concert, you gotta go with the flow, man.
You gotta feel the vibes and just kind of let it run through.
Dude, sometimes you get... I'm sick of that voice. I hate it. I hate music
What?
festivals. Anyways, our topic today is going with the flow. Now,
Yeah.
Bosif,
Well, how do we get there? Why don't you tell the story?
I'll tell it. Okay. So Beau, it's kind of a sad story. It's a bit of a saga. So we were supposed to meet Sunday at our original headquarters, the main headquarters, Duchess of Monroe, Connecticut.
Yes.
And Beau goes, sorry guys, I was in my knitting circle and I fell down and I don't feel good. And then tomorrow I have a coffee commitment for these top secret meetings that no one's supposed to know about. And I don't think I can make it tonight. And then we can just do it another time.
Yeah, I called.
You know what, Beau? You broke my dad's heart. He was looking forward to seeing you, and I know he was gonna give you like a recommendation for a doctor to help with your vertigo. He even had it all set up. My dad was like, I don't like when people are sick. I'm gonna help him out. I was like, don't help him out.
I got a vertigo guy, even though he's never had vertigo.
He does. No, he did. My dad did. He had an inner ear thing and an attached retina. Anyways.
Yeah, I called you. I was like, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Beau was like, guys, I'm on TV. It's like, I'm in the Life Alert commercials.
Have you ever watched one of those commercials and been like, I think I want one of those? all the time. I always see them. I'm like, just for anxiety, where it's just like especially living alone. I'm like, I just want one.
You hit one and your necklace. Like,
I would hit it every day. Be like, I don't know. Just
the paramedic's like, Beau,
come on,
you're
Beau.
28. We just came from a 9-year-old woman who fell and is actually hurt. Are you okay? He's like, I'm just nervous.
Just me eating goldfish.
Work is overwhelming me. And they're like,
I'm
God.
scared and I need help.
Like, this fucking guy again. He's the worst.
But yeah,
anyway, so we had to pivot. We had to successfully pivot.
Yes, we did.
Okay, and we had to figure it out. And of course, our fearless leader, Lisa Lampanelli, aka LL,
aka fitness influencer extraordinaire,
foxtrotter, whatever, all that stuff, right? Ballroom dancing bitch, whatever you want to say. She does it all. She was like, that's what, yeah, hashtag BDB.
Yeah.
Let's start that hashtag. Anyways, so we had to decide, like, she was like, you know what, let's talk about our topic this week will be going with the flow.
Yeah.
And, adjusting on the fly and whatever that may mean, right? So for that, it was, you broke my dad's heart, whatever, it's fine. You don't care about him or his health, and that's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. But we, trying to adjust.
Yeah. Well, it's just hard. It's especially when you have an idea of how something's going to go, or like
when you're looking forward to something.
Yeah. Especially when you're just like, and it totally hit me with the vertigo because I was like, oh, I got these shows this weekend. I'm going to go see my friends and do this. And I had this whole like weekend planned and everything planned. And then all of a sudden, I can't stand up straight and I'm bouncing off the walls for vertigo. Cute. And now my whole weekend has to change. Everything has to get pushed out. I have to focus on my health. And I can get angry and sit in that and be like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And just like sit there and get depressed, which I did. But or I can be like, I didn't do a good job at it at all. Like, you know what I mean? I got depressed. I was like, what the hell? Like, what was happening? And I had all these things in my life, my good life, and now it's ruined. You know what I mean? I did all that. And it's like, but if I just went, oh, okay, well, I have to deal with this, and I'm just going to deal with it, and it's going to suck. But you know what? I got to embrace it a little bit because it's my health and this is important. Yeah. And I just took care of myself. Then guess what? A week later, I'm fine. But I had to go with the flow in order to be happy. And it's so hard to change your mindset, especially when you have your heart set on like, this is how my life is supposed to go.
And you start to almost spiral. Like all these negative thoughts are flooding. I know for me, they just start flooding in.
Yeah.
And you're like, how do I filter this out and just go with the flow? How do I get rid of these? So I bang my head against the wall. And that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, going with the flow. I feel for me, I know the biggest one of the things I worry about the most is I have some back issues I deal with. We're a mess, by the way. You have vertigo. I've been a meathead. I fucked my back up when I was younger. Yeah. And so I just have to be careful about it. And I once in a while I'll re-injure it. And dude, the thoughts that come into my head and how sad I get immediately is like overwhelming.
Right.
Like when I can't work out or whatever, or if I can't do anything or I'm in pain, I'm the most miserable person that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Like and I start to being like, oh, this is great. Now you're back to where you were. Like you fucking blew it. And you start going to like all these things that, hey, they're not going to help.
Yeah.
None of those thoughts are going to help.
No.
At all. But
nope.
I remember the last time I got hurt, this was probably in May. Beginning of May. I was stressed about shit, whatever. I get hurt and I remember immediately trying to put a positive spin on it and being like, okay, maybe you needed a break.
Yeah.
Maybe you needed a break because something went wrong, right?
Yeah.
So you're clearly pushing it. You were sleeping a lot. Like maybe you were pushing your nervous system a little too much. Maybe you were a little. Maybe this is good.
Yep.
It's like good. Look at it as like a good thing. All right, good.
Yeah.
I got hurt. Now I could slow down and calm down and reassess. And now I'm perfect again. So.
Well, no, I definitely related to when you were saying like the second something happens, all of a sudden you go to a bunch of thoughts in your head about like it's just a trauma response of like, oh no, now I'm miserable, now all this. Like I get that way with finances all the time.
Oh.
I mean, I was working with for this guy last year, and he was like a former kind of like mob guy that I met, and he's totally insane. And he owed me a bunch of money, and he came into work one day and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I lost 80 grand at the casino over the weekend, so I don't got your money." And
Did you break his fucking legs?
no, obviously not.
Okay.
I'm not that person, but I was like, I was like hurt, and then but instead of just being like, okay, well, I'm gonna be okay, and starting to think about it like that, I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna be homeless. Like I'm gonna lose my apartment if I don't have this money now. Like I'm screwed. And then he ended up, you know, obviously helping me out, you know, shortly after that, and you know, we kind of had money troubles, me and him, for a while, and finally those are done. But like, you know, the second I hear bad news or like, oh hey, this is a roadblock in my life, I immediately go to like, this is the worst, here's the worst possible scenario, right? Like, oh, I owe you $3 grand. Oh well, now I'm homeless, so thanks. You know what I mean? That's not
You
that's,
blew it.
Yeah, that's not like a reasonable response to what he said, right? What it could be is, okay, well, what can you get me next week? Or, you know, let me look at my budget. You know what I mean? Let me figure it out. Let me be an adult for 2 seconds. But instead, I have a response that is all based in fear because I'm not going with the flow. You know, so it's really going with the flow as somebody who like doesn't live in fear-based reactions.
Yeah.
Which is something we talk about a lot on this show because it's really where most of our problems come from. It's just like, oh, I'm in a lot of fear right now, I'm going to react accordingly. Instead of being like, oh, I'm in a lot of fear right now, how do I get out of that fear and think about what's actually going on?
Yeah. When you get backed into a corner, naturally, we're animals.
Yeah.
We're like little mammals. And you get backed into a corner, you're like, I'm going to start swinging. I just got to fight my way out of this.
Fight or flight, man. Yeah.
And it's not...
You're a fight guy because, you know, you're Italian, hot-blooded.
Yeah.
You know,
rarely
you
a
think-
flight. I'm always like
Yeah.
on the verge of like, I just want to headbutt someone. through
Yeah.
the wall.
Whereas I'm like, I'm just going to put the covers over my face. Like, I am such a flight. Like, I'm just like I'm a flightless bird. I'm a dodo. You know what I mean? So...
You're a peacock.
I'm a turkey
Because you're beautiful. You are a turkey because you gobble gobble. Ooh, let's gobble each other. Okay. So, but no, I know what you're saying. You get caught in this this fear-based thinking, and it's the worst. I know for those that don't know, I know I'm a trainer and I have been for like 10 years, but I took a quick little pivot into an office and sales job.
Yeah.
For about a year and a half, yeah, and I didn't know I wasn't an office guy until, I mean, you guys are with me at the diner. We sit for 90 minutes. I'm like, okay, do you guys have a
Can I do some squats?
I'm gonna my back hurts. I need to stand up. I need to
These
walk.
egg whites weren't to my liking.
Yeah.
Loser.
I worked in an office. I was doing sales. I was on the road, driving around and whatnot. But it was, long story short, it was just like everything was kind of going a good way, right? There was like high school, then I got through college and blah, 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 and I had a job and I was killing it. And then I got this other opportunity and I was like, oh, yeah, like a salary job
Yeah.
and like benefits and blah, blah, blah. I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
My life's just gonna... Here we go, baby! I had this like vision of me like, yeah, dude.
Just soaring like an eagle.
Yeah. Bye-bye, poverty. See ya, Dad. No, I'm just kidding. But I literally got this job and like things are going really well. And then of course at the time I got a girlfriend that reinforced all these things who was also in sales and also made a lot of, and like,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, this is the life I'm going to live the rest of my life.
She's just like, you're going to do a great job, honey.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're going to take care of me forever.
Yeah. She's got talent. Her fucking tentacles are on me. Testicles. But yeah, I mean,
We're going to have a guest room.
and I remember I got let go. I got let go from the job. It was actually one of my close friends. It's his family's business. So that was even tougher, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't take it personally because I was like, their name's on the building. I know what their family put into this. Like, if I wasn't producing, like, get rid of me. I understand. I understand. It was just sad. I remember getting let go. my father gotten fired from his job when he worked at McDonald's and Ace Hardware for 10 years. He had just got fired 2 weeks prior. And this was my first time I ever had to go on unemployment and all this shit. It was a real
So you were a couple girls in the wind.
Me and my dad were like, I'm just 25. I'm just like, Dad, what are we going to do? My dad's in his 60s. We're like, what are we going to do, man? You want to start a band? But, I mean, I had to figure out kind of where to go from there. Do I go back to training? I was looking at master's programs for exercise science. I was like, do I go back to school now? I think that's what I have to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have to go back to school. I have to, all this shit.
Yeah.
And I had a friend at the time, too, who was going through, I mean, within weeks, this all happened.
Yeah.
The same thing. He moved across country with a girl. It ended, this relationship ended in like 3 weeks. I had to go pick him up, brought him home. And we literally just were unemployed, and the whole summer we would go to the gym.
Yeah.
And I would pick him up, and like, you know, he was having his own stuff, and we just basically were these two miserable dudes trying to figure it out. But you had to, we were in such negative places, I had to find a way to pivot. And I just got back into training at the edge, which was the worst.
Right.
But
you said, hey, the flow is, I know how to do this. I know I'm good at it. So I'm going to go take that.
But it was so funny. It's funny you say that because, but also my confidence was so shot from everything because I thought I'm just supposed to go this way. There's never supposed to be. I've already had all the shit.
Right.
Like I thought, like it's so dumb to think like, all the bad shit's already happened. I'm good. It's everything's. It's someone else's turn now.
No,
okay?
I relate to
Who
that. Who
else are you gonna take from me? God no. It's all over. He took my hair. My mom. All right, so you're gonna a little dark. Now we're gonna. But I was like, I just want to go up. That's it. I'm going up from here on out. And my confidence was so shot, I barely believed in myself as like a trainer.
Yeah.
I was like,
I guess you could do sit-ups. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really know.
I don't know. I heard that worked once.
It's just crazy. Like, I was so, like, I know what I'm doing. I've done this job before, but I was so just emotionally wrecked from what happened.
That's true. I mean, you do that in work. You know, being confident is such a big deal. And I finally figured out today why I steal other people's things. Really, when they
not personally, like
not
ideas,
things, right? Like ideas. Like when somebody says something, why I say it back.
Rick's wallet.
And it's because of sales. Like when I'm on sales calls all day talking to people, and they say, you know, okay, so we need this at $5,000 and that, and da-da. And because I don't know what to say next, I just repeat what they said because I'm like, oh, that will fill time, and I'll just go, so you were thinking about that for that, and all right, so does that?
They're like, I was.
Yeah, and I remember a sales trainer saying to me like 10 years ago, he was like, repeat what they said when you don't know what to say, and I was like. And I was like, I remember looking at him and being like, I don't know if that's a good thing. Like, and he goes, no, it shows you're listening, and you can just kind of say it in a different way, and they'll go, oh, okay. And I go, all right. So I just started doing that. I do that in my life all the time because I have nothing to say. So I just go.
And then we met Lisa Lampanelli, and she was like, hey, you stealing my thing? That's what I just said. Lisa will not be tricked or bamboozled. Okay?
Like, what are you trying to sell me, fatty? All right. But it is true. It's like how
happened
you do
last
it.
night at the diner.
Yeah, and it's also me. Like, I'm not organized, but when I say things, I remember them. Every act I've ever done, I always have to say it like 20 times before I go on stage to do it because I need to hear myself say it, and then it's
that's
a thing.
Crazy to me. I remember
you are a writer. You're like, I wrote it, and there it is, and now I
wrote it, and I just go up and do it to the best of my memory because if I get caught up in words, it's over. Yeah. Like I know you've texted me on like days where we had big shows, and you're like, I've just been in my house just repeating it all day. And
because that's how
I would go
lock
nuts.
it in.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I just lock it in that way.
Freak me out.
But anyways, you go with the flow. You figure it out. I think we have a few more things that we can talk about, but we should definitely bring on the fitness influencer extraordinaire. What was the BDB? Ballroom dancing bitch?
Yeah. The ballroom dancing bitch. The former queen of me, now the queen of meaning. That's right. Trumbull, Connecticut native. St. Joe's graduate. Yeah. Music connoisseur.
Yeah.
She's
my
been in movies,
friend.
TV. our life coach, our mentor.
Lisa.
The captain of our ship.
Paul Nelly.
Lisa Lampanelli. We'll be right back. Okay.
What she asked of
This episode is brought to you by egg yolks. Nick, stop kidding yourself. Eat the yolk, bitch.
Hello and welcome back to the Losers with a Dream podcast. We are losers and we have big dreams, but we're able to go with the flow sometimes and not get too caught up in our big dreams.
Yeah, we're going with the flow. That's why we're wearing red t-shirts, because we're on the rag.
It's a heavy
flow day, girls.
All our cycles have synced.
By the way, it does not escape me that we are taping this on National Non-Binary Day.
Is it really?
So I'm happy you're wearing your most feminine jerseys.
I gotta call my dad and tell him.
Yeah, you have to. You have to celebrate these little wins for
true.
mankind. Hashtag non-binary is Beau. Has the tits. Oh my God. Listening to you guys, I was proud yet horrified. I have to say, this was a very revealing episode about you guys. You threw me off this week, but I righted my cause,
Finally.
as they say. First of all, okay, this is what I love. Okay, first, I have to critique your opening segments. You, Gordon Gecko, you're a fucking trainer who give 90% of your money to Equinox. You earn $1 a session. Are you kidding me? I mean, I was cracking up. Wheeling, dealing, and squealing from how they stick it in you. Jesus Christ,
Am I the Gecko from Geico?
Yeah,
Maybe that guy?
Is
that closer?
That guy has more power than you do in this business. I mean, that guy is nailing it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But no, I also do I cannot go without saying, I can imagine your dad's form of Twitter back in the 60s. It's just him leaning out the window in the Bronx yelling, Anthony, she's a whore.
She was a whore.
I mean,
tweeted it this morning.
by the way, I like that you reinserted the meathead moment into the broadcast, because I will tell you, we're not perfect all the time.
No.
We do things that we F up. I'm perfect. You guys aren't. So you putting out your flaws helps your others,
She's right,
your
guys.
listeners who clearly aren't perfect because they're listening to you guys. How much do they really have to live for? They basically feel less alone because you could say how you effed up. But here's one thing I don't get. Okay, so Nick, what did you do with your dad that was so wrong? You went over, taught him how to do ways. First of all, he kept over the phone with what did he keep just saying? Oh, how are we going to get there Friday? What route are we going to take?
He just kept going over the directions with me to this place that we've already been a few times. And I was like, that's why you have the thing.
Yeah,
man.
but what's great about it, I don't think you did anything meathead-wise. You, on the other hand, Beau, we'll get to you later. You're a dummy. So, but you got off the phone without yelling at him.
Well, I got a little.
But see, you didn't.
And I felt bad after.
Why?
I
Because
did.
you had the slightest emotion in your voice?
Because this literally was like, all right, I gotta go. That
Okay,
was,
why is that bad?
I don't know. I just feel
First
bad
of all, you
now.
cut it off before you yelled.
Yeah.
You got out of there. You set like a boundary. You said, hey, I'll show it to you. You showed up anyway. A dick move, a meathead move would have been like, Dad, you know what? You asked me too many fucking questions, and you know what? I'm not coming over, and here's your punishment. Like, literally, I've done that.
Yeah.
So,
Figure it out, you old bag.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, and sometimes, like, we just snap, but you didn't even snap. So I would challenge you that you don't have to nitpick every false word you say.
Yeah.
Every time you have a negative emotion, you don't have to think it's a bad thing.
Right.
You don't have to have the infinite patience of a Mother Teresa. Look at, I'm not comparing you to Jesus, okay? But Jesus
I'm very
yelled.
close.
Jesus, no.
Is that what you're saying?
No, you're close to Jesus.
Close.
You're right. I will say, because you both clean, but I will say,
I love cleaning.
I know Italians love to clean. But Jesus yelled at people. I said even the other day at dinner, I bet even the Buddha probably was like, you're all cunts. At some point, probably even the Buddha did that. And he was
Yeah.
fat too, so he had his flaws.
I mean, Jesus flipped the tables there.
He did on
I think
those
it's-
Jews in the temple.
Yeah.
And that's not a derogatory term.
No.
That's what it says in the Bible. So you can't put these there's just unattainable standards into, I'm going to have the patience of a saint with everything about my father. I mean, you can,
No,
but it'll only
I-
make you miserable.
If I were to go deeper and think, I know exactly why I get worried about that is because first of all, my dad's he's fine. He's having some health-ish stuff.
Got some ass sores. The guy has a hemorrhoid, thinks it's he got a pain in the coccyx.
It's from the 70s when he was experimenting on the
Yeah,
road.
well, it happens.
You know, but no, but he's having some health stuff. He's the only living relative I have
Sure.
left. And with my grandmother, who was before 4 years ago and she passed, our last interaction on the phone was the worst. It was a fight.
Oh, so you never want to hang up the phone without...
So I get like, there's times where if I'm like yelled at my dad or whatever, I'm like,
you gotta call him back and say, I love you.
Yeah, I gotta fix it. So like even today I was like, I'll see him and it'll be fine and then whatever. But
But
immediately,
suppose he'd have died on your way to see him. Then you really fucked up.
yeah, I'm out, bro.
And
I'll
you'd
see
be
you
dating
guys.
like fat girls to make up for it. Just JK. But no, so I would contend that you can't always have over your head the threat of someone's going to die. I know it's natural for us because we've lost people.
I know, I just hate that I
But
go
it's
there,
so funny because my mother used to, like, I guess she must have took a seminar at church or something that say you should say I love you more, because literally she'd be screaming at us as we leave the house. She'd go, I love you! Like, okay, your last words to us before we died in a car accident was I love you. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll retroactively remember that.
Yeah.
But stop being so hard on yourself. You, on the other hand, you knucklehead, usually you're smarter than this. That was so dumb to go to that club.
I know.
Do you know how
But
hard that
entertaining.
was? Yeah, I mean, it was so stupid that you did that. That Cody's nose ring popped out, and it flew up his cunt. I mean, do you know how difficult that was for your friends to do? No, but that was you're right. You
Yeah.
realize that was just dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
yeah.
that's why when you discuss these things of going with the flow, that literally wasn't going with the flow.
Yeah.
Because people think going with the flow is just kind of carrying on as per usual. It's literally
that word.
pivoting, going, okay, I was in the hospital 10 minutes ago. Scarcity and fear is driving me to do this show because
Yeah.
there's no reason you needed to be there.
No.
I mean, useless, didn't even get on the stage, but fear is what compelled you to do it instead of just pivoting and going, oh my God, I have to physically take care of myself now.
Yeah.
So I would say, arguably, you staying home would have been the right thing and the pivot you needed to do. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been me going with the flow
Mm-hmm.
because I would have understood that the flow is me going home and laying down and taking care of
Right.
myself.
And out of fear is what drives us to not pivot or to stay too long at the fair. So
Yeah.
basically, you then, by you fucking up and not pivoting, you ended up sicker on Sunday and ended up throwing me for a loop because that really pissed me off. It actually didn't make me mad.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, good, we have a topic. That's great. But listen what happened to me. So you morons cancel on me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. Wow, I have this whole day off. Isn't this great? So I am watching this 80s movie. I forget what it was, and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. Like, I hope there's another 80s movie on after, and there was. And it was a movie called Shirley Valentine, which was one of my favorite movies. My parents loved it too. And it was about this woman who was this 42-year-old housewife in Liverpool who had to change her life because she was bored, and she ended up going to Greece, ... Well, of course, because I'm in the, oh my God, Beau and Nick and I didn't have a meeting today. I better find something productive to do. God forbid I just sit on a fucking couch and have a day off.
Yeah.
I look up the movie because I had a suspicion it started as a one-person show, and this is me. I'm like, oh my God, this is what I could do in retirement. I could learn a Liverpool accent. I will go to a dialect coach, and I will figure out how to do this show off Broadway, and I will end up being on London's West End doing a revival of this movie, this script that was written by this really famous Liverpudlian, by the way, that is a verb, excuse me, an adjective, Liverpudlian playwright, and I'm going to be the toast of the town, thereby throwing me back into achievement mode and purpose with a big P, which I don't fucking want.
Yeah.
So I go, wait a minute. Halt! Go back. Okay, and I look up this play. It literally has been done by some of the finest actresses in the world. It has
And
been
you're like, I'm up
fucking Ellen
next.
Burstyn did it on Broadway and won a Tony.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm really gonna fucking do that. So it was funny how I had to kind of go, oh, just because we canceled a meeting and it's in 2 days doesn't mean I suddenly have to be thrown into this tizzy of activity and back into the old days of achievement.
Yeah.
So I blame because you didn't cancel your dumb show and had to cancel our meeting. But it was good for me to discover that I had to just go with the flow, which at the time the healthy thing was just sitting, enjoying these movies for entertainment and not going into old patterns.
Yeah.
So I think like where Nick talks about going backwards into becoming a trainer, it wasn't going backwards in a bad way. It was going into what you know is right for you.
Yeah.
You know, a pivot isn't necessarily like, oh my God, finding a new path or finding a new career. It's like just doing it with renewed vigor and vim. No, and just figuring out.
Rediscovering what works for me.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, right? Because
Yeah.
like John Lennon
Cute.
said, life is what happens when we're busy making other plans. So when you were busy planning for that show Thursday,
Yeah.
you didn't plan on getting dizzy like a knitting old lady. But you did.
Yeah.
So now it's get a life alert. By the way, I was thinking about that today because I remember when my parents got life alert.
Yeah.
And my mom goes to me, well, why the hell don't you get one? You live alone. And I go, because I have a cell phone. And now I'm like, oh my God, I got to carry that cell phone with me going up and down the steps because God forbid, right? Like I'm turning 60. I better have
You're
a
too
fucking
athletic.
phone.
I've seen you move.
I
You're
couldn't
good.
really run. But no, it makes me laugh. So yeah, we can't get a life alert yet.
No, yeah.
No,
But
you're not there yet.
What Beau is.
Right.
Yeah.
Beau absolutely needs to
He
press
has
that
issues.
button just to have somebody to talk to when there's no meeting because they have to answer 24/7. And they're like, is this a test, sir? And you'd be like, no, I just wanted to see if I'm okay. I'm having heart palpitations. But I think the trick when you do have to pivot and you do have to just flow with things is to really just stop, figure out why that pivot is so hard to go with. So I think a lot of times it's sadness and it's grief. You, like you said, you like went into depression and it's like if you get into depression mode, it's not grief. Depression is, oh, I'm now stuck.
Yeah.
So then you're even more stuck. But if you just were sad over the event, say you had skipped that show
Yeah.
and went with it, maybe some sadness would have arisen about, wow, I missed a show. Am I that guy now?
Yeah.
And you had to be, you should feel the grief and the sadness over that, but not get stuck in it.
Yeah.
I think the three of us are self-aware enough not to get stuck in grief and just feel what we have to feel. But I think that's the trick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think if I had gone home and I was just like, oh, I'm sad I missed the show, but you know what? I got to deal with this. It would have been a very healthy, like, grown-up way to just accept, you know, what's going on, go with the flow, keep going. But instead, of course, you know, I make the mistake of going and trying to, you know, beat my head against the wall and be cool or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, I was thinking, like, going with the flow is not, it's not usually the fun thing. It's never
That's a great
like,
point.
you know, like, because I remember, or just there's this whole idea behind like travel, and there's this whole idea
it's the
behind,
worst. It's an escape.
yeah, and especially when it's
Don't
like,
get a minivan and travel
Yeah.
across.
Yeah.
Wanderlust.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
and it's like, well, I'm going with the flow, and I'm just in tune, man, with like,
like, no,
you
you're
know, the
not.
world. It's like, no, you're not, dude.
You're fucking dope.
You're running.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it's funny. I follow this great account on Instagram that I'm not going to plug because they, you know, didn't follow me back. So I'm a celebrity. No, but it said something about, isn't it great not to be chasing or running from anything?
Yeah.
Chasing anything or running from anything.
Yeah.
Sunday, when I got into that fucking mode, I was chasing something, some high of like achievement.
Yeah.
But running from it, no. It's like running from that quote unquote relaxation is wrong.
Yeah.
Or running from just like settling into things, you know?
Yeah.
And no, I love that you point that out because I hate this whole escapism.
Yeah.
You know, and stop having fun.
I
What's
know.
all this fun?
These kids and their pot.
It's just
Pot's legal, and they're all
it's so
smoking.
dumb. I just hate fun.
They're smoking their dope. I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like these people with it's always fun. No, life is hard. It's a struggle.
It's a grind.
Stop drinking and stop trying to fucking damp down your problems and your feelings with substances and all this other shit.
Video games.
Get
off the video games.
Pop up
traveling.
sideways and then you yell at people and you fucking end up your dad dies before you say I love you.
Don't do
That's what
anything
happens.
fun. Just go to diners and write stories.
Yes, that's exactly. And steal
With
Lisa's
your friends.
and steal. Okay, Beau. People might be wondering, by the way, what you were talking about, how you like steal my ideas.
Yeah.
What we're talking about. Let's reenact. Me and Nick will reenact what Beau does to me.
Beau.
Okay, so yeah, you're Beau, and no, actually, you be me and say something truly genius as always.
It's gonna be tough, but okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So what I was thinking was
Yeah.
for
Wait, I'm chewing. Okay, go ahead.
what I was thinking was is for the social media account, we should have 2 funny posts, 30 to 45 seconds, and then 3 serious posts from the topic. Because in my experience as a world famous comedian who's been working for 30 years, I think this would be the best thing for your social media accounts.
You know what I think, though? Waitress, could I have another BLT? Okay, 2. I think.
Extra mayo.
I think. How about we post twice about the segments, and then like 3 times about the topic? Like, what do you think?
That's what I said, you fucking sherm.
Okay, so that's what Beau literally repeats what I said, but not as, and I don't buy your sales fucking bullshit explanation. Because what you do is you repeat them like it's your idea. You don't like, this is how a salesperson does it. And what you do with your sales, I'm sure, is like, so what you're saying is you'd like to buy $5,000 worth of ads. No, you just fucking go, I've been thinking this is what we should do. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. I just said that.
Or when I gave you a topic, you did that too. You're like, yeah, so he took the pen and he's like, all right, so I think we should talk about this.
Yeah.
I forget what the topic was this week. And I was like, I told you that. And you're like, did you?
Yeah, I did
I
you
was
really?
like, yeah, I
Did you
did,
really?
man.
Yeah, but so this is what I mean. But Beau, I don't fault you for that because they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So I accept it as flattery, but I don't know.
It is very like Asperger's-y though of me. Like it's very
Yeah, stop
like
that. Stop stealing people's diseases too. Because you say you have that ADHD, you have
Vertigo.
everything.
I don't know what I have.
You're like Rain Man. The Rain
None
Man
of
of
them are
ideas.
real. You're just a big dummy.
Let's go to the casino.
Yeah, right. That's all we need. But also, back to going with the flow. Don't go with the flow if you're stealing my ideas. I want to say, I don't buy that thinking positive is a good thing. I don't think positive vibes only. That's fakery. That's things that you're putting positivity on top without feeling the sadness of the thing that has to change. So no, it'll all work out. No, it won't if you don't do something about it. So here's an instance where I didn't pivot and I fucked myself. When social media came out, I was like, I am so not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about my audience enough to connect with them. So every comic back then was like, oh, I guess I have to pivot and start doing social media. Not me! No fucking way. I am not going on the Instagram and the Facebook and the Twitter. Don't give a fuck. They'll find me where they find me, even if I have to play to 100 people a night instead of what, 6,700 at Radio City, 6,732 to be exact. Because when you're making money and door deals, you know the exact count. So what I'm saying is, I didn't make that pivot. Yes, in the end, it ended up fine because I ended up where I'm supposed to be. But if you want to keep that fame up or that following, you have to pivot with the times. So positive vibes only don't work. Going, it'll all work out. It'll work out, yes. But then you're going to have to grieve what you lost, which is, oh my God, I am not connecting with these people. They're not coming to see me.
Yeah.
And that has to be okay eventually, and you have to settle with it. So I don't like positive thinking. It's just another thing to fail at. It's like, affirmations, I think, are fucking bullshit. You know, I cannot stand people who look in the mirror and say, I'm pretty. Chances are, if you have to say I'm pretty, you're not. Okay? If you have to say I'm pretty, you better write fucking I'm pretty in lipstick on your whole mirror and cover your ugly face because you're fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Okay? So I don't like this positivity. It's fake. I say just accept life on life's terms, and that's how you have to move forward. And that's what this flow is about.
We're just living in reality.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I hate like every like influencer now, especially these like kids who are like trying to. It's always like, here I am, I'm so beautiful, and I'm on TikTok, and like just be positive and like think positive, man. And like that's
So
their whole thing.
stupid.
And it's just like, dude, like, well, yeah, but you got to do something. You can't just stay in your room taking videos of yourself all day.
Right.
You have to. Meanwhile, they're millionaires, but like, you know what I mean. But like you have
You
to
gotta do something, man.
Yeah.
Driving Teslas and shit.
Yeah.
But like, no, you have to. It's not the correct message, because that message, it's basically being like, oh, I'll just write it off. Oh, I did it, and it's this 2-second thing
Well,
where
but
you don't
also
do
it's
anything.
also not taking into account people have depression, people have mental
Yeah.
illness, people. You can't stay positive through a mental illness.
No.
Like, you got to take your fucking meds. You've got to go to therapy.
Yeah.
So positive vibes only is the fucking worst.
If someone walked up to me like when I was like 2 days into detoxing, and they were like, you know, you just gotta think positive, man, I would have choked them.
I'm positive I'm going to fucking kill you right now. How's that sound?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm positively gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think really what has to happen, the trick to really going with the flow, is to just stop for a second. Yes, we have to all do immediate pivots or we die. Like if
Yeah.
I'm about to get hit by a car, I gotta fucking get out of the way.
Right.
Even though I kind of think it's not my time yet.
There's always the
like,
second
I'm
where
gonna
you're
just
like,
stand
"Ooh, I
there.
can just leave.
I know, like it's not. God doesn't want to take me out. Yeah, I'm like
Beau
a gift to
does
the
like, "Take
world.
me out."
I think it's like it's the stopping the movement for a minute, just kind of going with it, but feeling that sadness without catastrophizing, because that's what we do. Like Beau, you made me laugh so hard when you went to homelessness, because that is what we do. Everything is
Yeah.
homeless.
Yeah.
We're all going to be homeless because none of us has a friend. None of us could get a loan. None of us has a family member who could help us.
Yeah.
We are homeless no
Yeah.
matter what.
Immediately.
And we immediately go to homeless.
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem. We instead of going to the catastrophe have to go to, wait a minute. The guy didn't pay me back the money.
Yeah.
Do I have anything in savings? Do I have a roof over
Yeah.
my head? I know you Sherms at your meetings are
Do a
always talking
gratitude
about
list.
taking the gratitude, and I fucking hate gratitude just as much as anybody.
Yeah.
But the whole like, oh my God, do I have food in the fridge? Do I have somebody to talk to? Do I have somebody who can help me? Do I have whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you people think is a good idea? Do I have my sobriety? Even though Lisa was never weak enough to have that. No, it's you just you stay out of that homeless scarcity mindset.
Yeah, totally. And I remember, so I was telling him before about going with the flow, when I used to do like a lot of intense, like mind altering drugs, like when I'd eat like, LSD or like snort a bunch of ketamine or something. It's like, if you don't like accept, hey, this is like we're about to have some troubles.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have a really bad time on those drugs because you see stuff's happening, you're sweating, you're going crazy, and if you go straight to like, oh no, I don't want that. I remember I was like taking ecstasy and then being like, oh no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. It was too much. And then all of a sudden I'm in a panic attack.
Right.
And instead of just being like, oh no, you took the drugs and
See,
here
that's
come
what
the
we're
drugs.
saying. Do a lot of drugs and just go with it. You know?
Go to Joshua
But you're
Tree.
actually right in a weird way, because I hate pot.
Yeah.
And even when I did it in college or whatever, I would fight it tooth and nail and
Yeah.
always be paranoid and miserable and not just go with it. I was so
Yeah.
strict and everything. So I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes me sick. But again,
Yeah.
in any circumstance, just to roll with it, but not in that escapism, fear-based way. Because P.S., that whole like, yeah, I don't mind if somebody retires and has money in the bank and buys a fucking RV and goes cross country. So what? They
Yeah,
have the
that's their
money,
flow,
they can
though.
back it up.
Yeah.
But if you're just escaping from your life, you're
Yeah.
not going with the flow, because guess what? You're going to fucking come home. Your house is going to be repossessed. Somebody's going to be fucking your wife. And nobody's happy except your wife, because you're better. She's, with a guy who's better.
She's with
Yeah.
Julio now.
Me.
Yeah, this is what happens. Nick's over there cleaning up.
Yeah. Getting piped.
That's right. He's getting piped.
Cornholed all of it.
But I just think keeping it out of fear-based reaction,
Yeah.
because that just sends you into spirals of like either depression or just like I'm going to pivot completely wrong and get the day job like you got. You know, the desk job.
Yeah.
That was out of fear. There was something going on with you at that moment.
It was a money thing. It was
scarcity,
it
fear
was
of
solely
money.
like I was, you know, when you're a trainer, you're never on a salary. You're always hourly, and like if your hours get cut, or if it's the holidays. I remember he caught me around a perfect time. It was like right before Christmas.
They always know how to
and I
test
was like,
you.
I was driving into work, and I was like, man, I can't really afford gifts this year for like my family. I was like 24. I was just started paying my loans too and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called me. He's like, so salary, benefits, pay for your car. And I was like, yep.
I think the
Sign
second
me
somebody pushes a job that says benefits, it's like, how old are we? Like, I'm the age that actually fell for that shit. There's a pension plan. What? Like, who gives a fuck? I want to be happy in my life.
Because I got hurt, and it was covered by insurance. It was phenomenal.
Well, I'm happy you got hurt. I'm always happy. Here's one thing you guys didn't mention that I thought was interesting. Yeah. How about when good things start to happen and we fight that flow? Yeah. Because we've been talking about when bad thing happens and we have to pivot. But when good, because I don't, because I'm clearly not afraid of success because I had enormous success. And as you know, I'm a terrific ballroom dancer. But no. Isn't it weird when we start to have like some success and then we're so afraid of it just subconsciously that we just block it? Like it's when you're dating a girl or whatever, and I imagine it must be like where, oh my God, it's going so well, let me sabotage that. So that's not going with
or
the
you're
flow.
waiting for the
shoe to drop.
Well, yeah. When's this coming? When's the other? When they
also like
this?
How many relationships have I gotten in a lot where I'm like, oh, I'm just scared to be alone, so now I'm going to be with you, and you know what I mean. So you just
fear.
Yep. And it's never the right decision because you're not in the flow. It's completely out of nowhere. And then you convince yourself, 2 months later, you go, no, I was really in the fun. We're really having fun. And then a month later, you go, she's crazy. I got to go. You know what I mean?
Who was actually crazy? The one who signed up to date her. And that's you.
Yeah.
But also, I think I hate comics because they're always doing these things like they'll say, look, man, the rest of my life is a mess, but when I'm on that stage, I'm in flow. Okay, by the way, if you can be in flow on stage, you can do it in your real life too. Yeah. So stop it, you fucking mess. Like, those guys who just are like, no, but it's just on stage. Well, apply that then to your real life, you fucking dope.
You don't have to go to the club every single night. It's not like, it's not medicine. It's, it's a job.
And by the way, no one wants to hear... They didn't pay to hear your therapy on stage. It's called jokes. They want to escape too. That's a healthy escape for them. Don't make them listen to what a mess you are unless it's funny. Yeah. So you guys, if you guys as comics have those instances of like that 10-minute spot, and oh my God, I was really in the moment and everything, you can go, oh my God, I can apply that to my real life. Yeah. So what's good is you guys know the feeling of it. Yeah. So if you ever are in scarcity or ever in fear, you could go, oh my God, wait a minute. I do it on stage, so let me apply that to my life. Yeah. Like right now, I said, if I apply to dealing with retirement and having a peaceful life with the fucking vengeance that I forged getting famous in a career, I'm going to be a huge success at fucking relaxing. It's true. So you just take what worked and put it in the new circumstance. I'm going to be the most badass fucking retiree. Like I won't be like John Kreese going back to the dojo trying to recapture.
Yeah, screw you, John.
Yeah, sure, through you, John Kreese. We thought you had to come back and take over the dojo from Johnny Lawrence. He had to start Eagle Fang, but he was in flow. Johnny Lawrence was in flow and said, fuck you, Kreese, and went to Eagle Fang. Just saying. Yes. 4 Emmy nominations. That's it. Congratulations, Lisa. Congratulations. You believed in us. But seriously, like this way we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. We go, oh, I flowed on stage. I knew what I was doing. Hey, what do I do with this girl or with this job or my parents or whatever?
That's so true. I didn't even think about that.
Just allowing the moment.
Of course you didn't think of it because you're stupid. No, of course you didn't think of it because you haven't lived enough. You haven't lived long enough. Sometime, look,
I feel like
it's time to call it.
37 years old?
33.
37.
Don't push it.
46.
46. I ask you your ages every show because I do not listen to the answers. It's really funny how I just don't listen.
Yeah, you just
it's the one like facts don't interest me.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't care. I don't care what you sell in your dumb day job. I don't care about anything except your father and Duchess. That's it. That's the only fact I need to know.
You do love him.
I do. He's the best. So listen, we've learned a lot.
We did.
I think we
Cried a lot.
we learned that we need to stay out of fear.
No more fear.
We got to take those little moments that we actually felt we were in the moment and keep going with it. And I think we learned not to cancel a meeting with Lisa because she goes off the deep end and becomes an achievement-oriented twat once again.
Yeah, you broke my dad's heart. You made Lisa try to make all these
Thanks a lot.
career changes.
Anybody over 60 he fucked with. We appreciate that. And now me and his dad have life alerts. Are you happy now?
Just the idea of Lisa doing a one-woman show, and they're like, "What did you think of it?" Well, our meeting got canceled, so I had to just figure it out.
Right? It's the most insane thing.
She's on like the Tonight Show.
I literally was looking up dialect coaches. And the only thing that held me back was I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah. How hard is that road? Getting a show off the fucking ground and learning an accent?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah, I'm a great fucking actress. I mean, listen. Oh, yes, governor! Governor!
It's would have been.
I'm a Downton Abbey!
You know what? We should have her do it. I think.
All I want is a real Mr. Higgins!
You can start at BJ Ryan's.
There you go. Oh, I'm in the crown now. Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher.
Oh.
USA Today said, "Why?"
The New York Times said, "Not now."
Yeah.
Please
All right,
stop.
so listen, we gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm very hungry.
Yes.
Same, dude.
And
I've
I
been
have to
thinking
go
about
with
steak.
that flow.
Let's go get some flow.
All right. I
Get
love
some
you
steak.
guys. We'll see you next week, or maybe we won't, and then you'll have to go with the flow. So suck it!
Follow us on Instagram at Lisa Lampanelli, at
Don't.
Nick Scopes, at Beau McDowell Comedy, Unhinged ENT. Follow me to my car. Follow my dad at Duchess.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to Losers with a Dream. We'll see you next week when you got more time to kill. Fucking hate these guys.